counties, they were able to complete a secure and fair election. I am satisfied that we have accurate results. Even with the pandemic and other distractions, our election workers were able to maintain professionalism and count ballots faster than ever before with 100% accuracy. Steve Gallardo said, "I'm disappointed in the Senate Judiciary Chair. This is a sideshow from our legislature. It's a circus." Bill Gates says that, let's be clear, what they're looking for as a conservative, I feel very strongly about individual private information of voters, and the information being requested in these subpoenas violates their privacy. I'm going to fight to protect that information before we will ever turn it over. Do you know what I say? Board of Supervisors, you're lying! You're liars! You're treasonous! The state of Arizona, we the people put you in office, and we stood by while you locked down our businesses. You forced mask mandates on the people, and we trusted you, and we listened to you. Now you're gonna listen to us. I want everybody here to get involved in this movement. This is not just about recalling the Board of Supervisors, but I'm going to tell you, if you really want this done, everyone here tonight needs to pull their part. We know the fraud exists, but now we gotta fix it. And the only way to do that is to get rid of these treasonous politicians sitting in their comfy chairs. Go to WeThePeopleAZAlliance.com. Sign up to get involved. Go to that table and sign the petitions against the Board of Supervisors. I know the line is long. Lots of you don't even know what supervisor is yours. But it's going to take us 100,000 signatures for each one of these treasonous guys. You're carrying the Gadsden flags, right? How many of you say, give me liberty or give me death? Okay, so will you pick up a pen and a clipboard and get 10 of your neighbors to sign to get these people out? I am commissioning you guys tonight, please. If you would pick up a gun, if you would shed blood for this country like our forefathers did, then do diplomacy first and help us get these guys out of office. Donate an hour a day, an hour a week, 10 hours a week. If you're retired, 40 hours a week. And let's take our damn country back. Thank you.
We having fun? We having fun? Let me bring up Mr. Steve Robinson.
Okay, I'm going to pre-apologize because I'm not a very good public speaker, but I got some stuff to say here. So, thank you everyone for coming out here and hanging out. This is important stuff we're doing, and we the people are together in this. We're a team, and we're talking about corrupt politicians, people that are not owning up to their oath of office right now. Rests in us. We, the people, are the bosses in this country. That's right. So, I'm not good at going off the hip, so I'm going to read something I wrote here, so sorry. Bear with me, guys. Our founding fathers gave everything that we may live free from tyranny. They gave us not a pure democracy, but a republic based on the rule of constitutional law, protecting the minority and the individual rights, not the often manipulated will of the majority. That is why our elected representatives must take an oath to serve the people and follow the Constitution. Many of our representatives are corrupt and unscrupulous. They have become increasingly tyrannical and are trampling our Constitution and our rights. We need to remind them that a broken oath is treason, and that can no longer be tolerated. Our founding fathers, they placed a great deal of responsibility upon us, the people. The power of our nation was put in the hands of we the people. And I apologize, but we have failed to maintain that power. And by doing so, we have relinquished the power to our elected representatives. So now we find ourselves in a position where many of our so-called leaders have run amok. They're abusing their power and they're making themselves exempt and protected from accountability for their actions against us. These are dark times, my friends, but I have good news. Those founding fathers also gave us a path to find our way back if we ever find our nation lost like we are right now. It lies in the system that we have allowed to be turned against us. We take back our power by taking action within that system together, by becoming a precinct committeeman, by calling and emailing your representatives, showing up to their hearings and their meetings to look them in the eyes when they are making decisions that will affect our lives and our communities. We need to become a part of the selecting of our elected representatives, not just showing up to vote for the lesser of two evils. We don't need any more of the same self-serving politicians. We need principled, constitutional patriots that will use courage and stand up in the face of corruption and do what's right. It seems recently like our corrupt representatives are pushing us into a corner. Some say they are pushing us closer to a new revolutionary war. But let's face the reality here, people. We're already at war. And we've been at war for several years now, an ideological war, a thought war, a war of right versus wrong, and like my friend earlier said, good versus evil. Are we ready to reclaim our rights and liberty? Are we ready to take back the power that rightly belongs to the people? It's time for us to remind them who is the boss in this country. We the people. The Oathbreakers have taken their tyranny far past the point that our founding fathers took a firm stand against. They wagered their fortunes and their lives to win freedom from tyranny for the first 13 colonies. And in my opinion, they wrote the most beautiful and just document second only to the Bible itself. And that document put biblical and moral ideas into a written declaration of not just our freedom and liberty, but also a defined path that our civil servants are sworn and bound to. Many of them have now strayed from that path. And it's up to us to set it straight. But that freedom and liberty was not gained without action. It took good men and women taking a stand and doing what is right to fight and work for it. And once gained, it does not sustain itself. We must stay vigilant, educated, and ever engaged in order to keep it.
Okay.
It's time for everyone to
Yeah, what it is, I don't know if you can hear my TV. It's probably a little bit loud. Let me turn it down. Give me a second here. Where'd you do the controller?
Where the controller?
Just turn it down. What are you doing with it? Hang on, we'll turn the TV down and talk.
She was no prostitute. My God.
He's gonna find the controller.
Just got the damn thing. Couldn't go far.
You got the damn thing. Couldn't go far. Hang on, let me get my. Well, dead people can't vote, Remy, and you can't run the same ballot 10 or 12 times. You put it in the chair. Hang on, we'll try this TV here in the background. We'll just turn it off. Now, Trump will eventually concede, but he is not going to shake Joe Biden's hand at all. Just for a little bit. See, Trump shouldn't concede because there's evidence of fraudulent votes. There's evidence of electoral fraud. Okay? Remy says hi to Nicole. Remy got lots of support today. But the thing with YouTube is, it is what you make it. There's plenty of places to go and learn things and have a good time and be educated and have some interesting things to look at. And there's plenty of friends. Oh, there's plenty of evidence around it. I don't want to get too political. What it is you got to be loyal to your friends. You got to be good to everybody. You can have your opinion, but don't be insultive in it. Make your point and move on. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. Forgive people. State your opinion without being arrogant and rude and disgusting. State it once and then move on. Aussie flag. We'll talk of the day to you. Aussie, haven't seen you for a bit. Yeah, this, Remy, if you watch NTD News and you follow Trump on Twitter, you'll see that there's overwhelming evidence of voter fraud. Overwhelming. The government is playing with us at this point. There's many people out there that are struggling. This stimulus package that they just passed out, maybe $2,000 is too much, but it's also just too much to spend $489 million to count fish and give to other countries at this point. Let's take care of the home front first. You got to take care of number one first.
Hug me.
This is my sister.
Well, yeah, Rachel, I get that because you know what? They have dragged me and doxed me and came after my job, and came after my wife and threatened to kill me and attack me. And you know what? After a while, you get to the point where you just feel like, you know what? These people are teaching me everything that I do not want to be. Yes, you have to forgive. Trust me, I'm not a very forgiving person. I know I've seen you around for a long time. You know how I used to act on that. I'm not a very forgiving person, but once you learn to do that and mean it, then what they throw at you just bounces right off of you. It means nothing. I'm sorry if that TV is loud. Which Trish did that, Rachel? Was it? Yeah, you should too, Remy. That's what the patriotic way to think is. You take care of your home front first. You clean up your yard. You get your yard looking nice, and your plants growing well, and your flowers blooming. And then when you profit from having such a nice place, you share. You can't share what you don't have. Who did that to you, Rachel? See, because I didn't see that drama. I've had so much drama going on in the last year on here. Oh, I know who that is. Yeah, I know who that is. Yeah, she's a live one. Well, doxing and insulting and body shaming and coming after people, it's the new norm. I've watched it over the last 2 years get worse and worse and worse. You know what I'm saying? People would have you think that I'm like the worst person on here, right? And some of these that I have done this and I have done that. I have seen the moral authority of YouTube, who people who are supposed to be against doxing and against going real life, sit on panels with people who do that over the last couple of days. Now, see some of the doxing that goes on and some of the real lifing that goes on, like driving by somebody's house and taking pictures of it. It depends on who you are. Now, you really cannot sit on a panel with someone who has literally drove by someone else's house and videotaped it, and then get on your own panel and talk about how bad doxing is. You can't do that. They should name this, instead of YouTube, they should make this, call this "You Hypocrites." They really should. You absolutely cannot pretend like you are the moral authority on YouTube while you're sitting on a panel with someone who had an elderly couple scared that I was going to come to their house. You can't do that. You lose credibility when you do that. Now, this tit for tat name calling stuff. Now, if Remy was a person that came after people and insulted them, which she does not do that. She states her opinion, but she does not insult anyone. I've never seen her insult anyone. That type of person should be stood up for when she is insulted, but not to the extent where it's getting into your life, where it's making you mad. You state your opinion. Okay, you shouldn't have said that about Remy, and move on. Really, seriously. Because when you white knight for someone, it leads to this person doing it and that person doing it. No, that should have never been said to Remy, period, by anybody. That goes back on a panel. Oh, you shouldn't say that, and you ignore them and don't let them get to you. No, that was wrong. She don't bother nobody. She's my friend. Me and Remy have had it out. She's never insulted me. I've never seen her even in private insult people. I've never seen her do that. She's one of the few on here that doesn't do that. But see, that's the thing. That's the thing. You had two words there: cool kid. All right. The key word is kid. I'd rather be a cool adult. Because I fell into that trap. When I was everybody's bulldog, they just loved me. Oh, you better not mess with Bryan. He goes hard. Well, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to do that. I might have my opinion, but I'm going to do it with grace, and I'm going to do it with maybe a little bit of fun. But I don't need to insult people. I don't need to insult people. That's not fun. You can't sleep well at night knowing that you've done that. Yeah, I like Vinny. And I really do like Vinny, and he's been through a lot of stuff. Yeah, me and Vinny had it out before. But he watched. I've known him for a couple years, and I've had it out. And when he was laying up with those strokes, and people came after him, some of those people I still talk to today were teasing him about his strokes. And this man, he's lucky to be alive. Yeah, I like to stay loyal. I'm always loyal, and I fell into this trap in the YouTube drama scene. That okay, if my friend didn't like this person, then I also would not like that person. And no matter what that person did, I would be loyal to my friend and not like that person. And it still goes on today. And what I realized out of my own actions on it is that's childish. That's very childish. We got grown people that are doing that now. Grown people. For no reason whatsoever. They'll speak on them. Well, I don't like doctors, and I don't like this person. You shouldn't do that. And they'll sit right on panels with the worst of them. I could say a lot about Bryan. Yeah, you can say a lot about Bryan if you want to. You can say Bryan has 14 legs and 8 eyeballs and he's got green hair, but that doesn't make it true. See, what they didn't like about me is that I was too clever for them and I saw right through their crap. That's what they didn't like about me. And when I stopped being people's bulldogs, they turned on me. You didn't send him your undies? Yeah. Nunya, it's easy to fall into that trap. It really is. I stay loyal to those who are loyal to me. And my loyalty lays with a few people in here. A few of them. Everybody knows I love Carla to death. I love Miss D. There's several more. Misbehaving is growing on me. Remy is one that I'm tight with. And I want to stay. I want quality over quantity. I have had chats with 700 people in it before. Right now, I got a chat with 9, and I'd rather have that because that's the quality of the people that are coming to me. The quality of the people that I look forward to seeing. People that I can. Those are I want friends, and I don't want friends with bad behavior. Because sometimes that's a trigger for me. If I have friends that have terrible behavior, I might fall into that behavior too. It's all about acceptance, And I've learned that just being myself and getting that quality over quantity is more satisfying than having a chat with 700 people in it, and 699 of them are just watching the shit show. Waiting for something to happen so they can take the finger off of themselves and their miserable lives to watch 2 other people that they have no business sticking their nose in their argument go at it. Yeah, I had 5,000 so. Stop being all mushy. Remy, I love you, girl.
What?
Yeah, Nicole said, what? Remy's my buddy, man. They pick on her all the time.
I heard that. I just get picked on. I just keep your buddy. They pick on me too.
Yeah, they pick on you, but you can handle it. And you're always my buddy. They tease her. Call her names and stuff. And I kind of feel like sometimes I need to protect that underdog. That's the man in me, I guess. Our friend Cece got hit with the HBB. Oh yeah, I've heard Cece curse before. She doesn't do it much, but when she gets mad, it's funny. The hairy butt bandit. Oh, our friend from Australia, Aussie Flag, says, "Hello, Nicole."
Hola.
She said, "Hola." She thinks you guys speak Spanish in Australia, I guess. Hola,
No.
hola. ¿Cómo se llama? ¿Cómo se llama?
That's all about 4 minutes right now.
I'm glad that I did not have a jealous wife because I get along better with females than I do with some of the men on here because I'm an alpha male, and sometimes you clash. But there are some guys that I like Smokey. Huh?
You know I'm not jealous.
You're not jealous. What do you got to be jealous of? I don't do nothing. I don't go nowhere. I don't even want to take the trash out. What to be jealous of? Look at me. Look, all this. Are you jealous of all this right here?
Yeah, you're right.
Nicole got the biggest thing that she got was a new stereo system because the old one sounded like crap and one of the speakers blew out of it.
I don't want to get on the floor and turn it on.
I don't know what'd your mom get you? She gave you a gift card, a smart TV, but most of it went to the kids. I took my boys. I took my boys out to eat instead of because my kids are getting older. You know, they're up. You know, instead of I used to just give them all like $100 or $150. So this year I just gathered everybody together, 15 of us, and we went to the Cracker Barrel, and I paid for that. And they're like, "Oh man, that bill's gonna be ridiculous." Actually, it saved me money, and the priceless part of it was having everybody to get together. Yeah, but that was like $230. Remy said, "We love you, Nicole." Have you ever seen Remy? Have you ever seen her when she's been on cam?
Possibly.
I think you have.
Possibly.
They tease her and tease her and tease her.
Who?
Remy.
They tease me?
They tease Remy all the time. She don't bother nobody. She's like one of the cutest people ever.
Hey.
She's cute as a button. She said, "Bryan, shut up. Bryan, shut up." But nobody should talk about your looks. And you're classy, Remy, so. Take it easy, Rachella. But that text number that I got going is if you want to support Stop the Steal, the 480-313-3924 number, that is how it will give you information on what you can do and who you can write to in your legislation. To if you feel like there's voter fraud, study it. January the 6th is going to be a big day here in the States. And January the 20th is going to be even worse. We're about this close to a civil war up here. There's 80 million people out there. In between 71 and 80 million people that voted for Donald Trump that are pissed off right now because their votes didn't matter. And it seems like that our government has right now legitimately stolen our right to vote. If we let this go through, and the judges and the Supreme Court and Congress, they are not allowing any of this evidence to be shown, and it's out there. It's not made up. It's not fabricated. Take it easy, Rachel. Pixie's here. Pixie's here. I do want to shout out a little bit. I want to tell Marianne, calm down. I'll tell Tracy, calm down. That Marianne that I saw on Sarah Deputy's panel is not the Marianne that I know. And I've known Tracy for a long time, and I've always told people there's a lot of good in that woman, and some people are like, yeah, right. Well, I stand by that. I've stood by that before. I would say my advice to you is don't let it bother you so much. Don't let it bother you so much. You're above it. And so are you, Starlight. It's just going to escalate until where all the good people just hate each other. And you're only logging on here in spite of yourself. It's not fun. And Ash 274, please. I've gradually watched people get worse and worse and worse on here while I have toned it down and down and down. All these people that were telling me I need to tone it down are now toning it up while I'm toned down. The hypocrisy is real. I used to mind my manners when Ash 274 was around, but now it's like, come on, man. Foot. We cannot go into this new year getting worse and worse and worse. You need to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. Okay, it is true that Remy has made her own jokes about the size of her friggin' head. But that doesn't mean other people can do that too. People have made, 180 has made jokes about his own disability. For those who are mad at me for the argument that 180 and I got into. Who are now saying, well, Remy, she's made fun of her own forehead before. Well, 180's made fun of his own disability. So you can cancel being mad at me over that argument that me and 180 got into. Because he's made fun of it. You guys have too. Remember the cripple races? So let's not pick and choose who. Well, doxing is wrong unless you're this person, and body shaming is wrong unless you're this person, and age shaming is wrong unless you're this person. If you're my friend, then it's okay, but if you're not, then it's wrong. Makes no sense. Just like who tooted wasn't me. Wasn't you? It was the dog, wasn't it? If ever someone farts around me, I say, well, what do you expect from a butthole? No, you don't, Remy. And I you know what? When you say something, you can be. I think like if you had a downfall, and we all do. You've had a couple. If you've had a downfall, is sometimes you, I'm telling you as a friend. Sometimes you are just so overly assertive, but you do it without being insultive. Howdy, Lou Smith. Yo, Brian, dude. Take it easy, Aussie flag. Now, I like Smokey. He's my buddy. I know how he talks. I do remember when his friends got mad at him because, and I wasn't mad at him, but he was kind of nodding off on it live. He had a reaction to some of the stuff that he was getting treatment for. He nodded off on a live, and some of his buddies did a live about him and how they were triggered and stuff like that, which is cool. That's a good thing. That's tough love. But if that live is still up, you can also go back and see those same people talking about how he was being inappropriate with women, and that had nothing to do with addiction. And my stance with Smokey was, hey, he's a single man. He can flirt with him. But then they decided they needed Smokey back, so they coddled him back. They need Smokey. Smokey, you're not that person. I can't imagine you calling a female a bitch. I remember when Dad with the phone came on your live and he started calling females' names, and you went off about that. Smokey, please don't start doing that. Smokey is a legend. I like Smokey. But when he when he was going at Tracy in the chat, I was like, come on now. I saw a side of Smokey that I haven't seen before today, and I saw a side of Marianne that I haven't seen that before. I thought there was nothing that could trigger Marianne. He did tell her that. But you know what? I used to get into it with Tracy too. And I just had a little more creativity with my videos, and I would get at her. And I've called her an old grumpy bitch before. And you don't want to start getting in the habit of, because I didn't used to do that, and then I started doing that, and then it becomes a habit, and then it starts flowing out of you. And I just don't want to see Smokey come that way. To me, he's just like everybody's little brother. You don't need to get in where you fit in, Smokey, because you fit in right by yourself, my brother. Well, FOD, I don't know. FOD's apologies are kind of. I can forgive FOD for what she's done to me, but I don't want anything to do with her. I don't want an apology. I don't want to talk to her. But yeah, God tells me to forgive people and mean it, so I forgive her. But you can just stay over there in FOD land, and I won't come bother you. How about that? I forgive you, but nah, no, thank you. I will not come out of character. I will not scream or embarrass myself. End of story. No, I don't think you will, Remy. You are pretty consistent. Ginger Locks. You made it to the end of the year without going to the hospital. I tease her about being well. No, it's because I hardly ever go live and I do it randomly. But they were having a rally in Arizona for Trump. I stopped the steal, so I had to get in there. That number that I got going across the screen is if you text that number, they will text Stop the Steal. They will send you information on how you can help. Ginger Locks is one of the good ones. There's all these people here are good people. They're just exerting bad behavior. It's the behavior that I don't like, not the person. I had this conversation with one of my favoriteest people ever just a little while ago. One that you guys think I should hate. And he goes, "You hate me, don't you, Brian?" I said, "No, I don't hate you. I hate your behavior. I just don't have it in me." I think before that I was developing hate for certain people. I don't hate Laura. I kind of think she's an idiot, but I don't hate her. I don't hate FOD. Don't like her much, but I don't hate her. I can forgive her. Whatever. There's an underlying reason as to why she does what she does. And I pray for the healing of whatever that reason is that causes these people to act that way. That's what I do. I don't know what happened to Ash 274. She used to be like one of my favorite people on here. Because she would come in, she would go from chat to chat to chat. She always knew what was going on. And she would be fair and reasonable to everybody. Everybody. Now she's just not like that. Foot told foot that foot was dying. I still like Ash 274, and I was like, it's like, where'd you go? Where'd you go? I kind of find it funny when 3 single women are sitting on a panel making fun of a female that is in a solid relationship. It's all over panty stuff. Yeah. I can't wait till the day. See, here's one thing that YouTube was supposed to do, but this election fraud and this COVID and everything slowed it up. YouTube was supposed to make you show ID to sign up. Facebook was supposed to do this too. You had to literally show ID to sign up. So that was going to stop troll accounts, and that was going to hold you accountable for anything, comment you said, any threat you made, anything, because they have your ID with your address on it. They were supposed to do that. But by the end, they were supposed to do that this year, and they didn't. So that would stop people from making troll accounts and coming at you and doxing you. Right now, I guess that federal law is making doxing a felony. Any form of doxing, like let's say you make a public threat or you make a private threat to another YouTuber who can prove that you said you were going to pay someone to come to someone else's house and beat them up, and then you show up. Instead of the law telling you, well, you really got to wait for something to happen. We're going to document this. We've got it on file. We know this person's name. We've seen you film. But really, they got to do something first. Now, just the intent. Here soon, the intent is going to be against the law. pretty soon, like right now on YouTube, if you put up anything that says stop the steal or election fraud, they remove your video. So the freedom of speech, they can do that. They can stop that anytime. They've taken down 2 of my videos already about the election fraud that was just commentary. Yeah, there was proof of election fraud, and they took them down without striking me. But they say, no, that's, they're taking. So these big corporations like, this Google and Facebook and Twitter is, if you look at the real Donald Trump on Twitter, whenever he speaks about legitimate election fraud, you can see under it. They put their disclaimer. So these big corporations are already starting to pull our freedom of speech away from us. All right, and then it'll trickle down. But I can't wait until YouTube gets to the point where people that make a single threat, like I can't go out here, and these women can't go out here and threaten each other like they do on YouTube because it's a misdemeanor. It's aggravated menacing or menacing. Crimes happen on these little screens every day. Every single day. It's ridiculous. Testing. Shelter in, thanks, Doc. Shelter in. I have no idea what that means. Socialist text. I have no what that means. I'll figure that out, though. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to copy that. Thanks, Doc. Shelter in. Let's see. Am I being flagged here? Okay, I'm gonna leave that up. I'm gonna check that out later. I use my real name on here, so all they need to do is look me up on Facebook and see my life. So what? No one has ever done anything bad to me. And I kind of always believe in using my own name on social media. I have this thing about standing on what I say and not caring what people think. I really don't. Text. I'm trying to figure out what that means. As a matter of fact, let me put that in. Let me check that out. Yeah. You get a copy of that. Put that down. What's that mean? Testing SimLab. Testing.01 SimLab. Software, flashcards, SimLab flashcards. Oh, okay, I see. December 3rd, 2020. That's an error. 454 SimLabSoft.com. All right, SimLab. I'll get with that later. Shelter in. Shelter in. Thanks, Doc. Shelter. Hey, well, but anyways, I just thought I would come on here for a little bit and share the number 480-313-3924. Text now, stop the steal, and they will send you information on what legislator in your area to send things to, where to watch the evidence of this election fraud, and if you want to support stopping the steal, making our elections right, so that at some point we can have another Republican be a president. And if you want to get involved in that and you want to get informed on that, then text 480-313-3924. At any point, y'all have a good night. And be kind to each other. For God's sakes. Peace and chicken grease.